Well, that's what he said. It's a place prepared. That's what he said here, verse 14, where she is nourished. For how long a time? Times and a half a time. How long is that? 3.5 years. Who's she being nourished from? Who's doing the dirt in the rest of the world? Go ahead.
From the face of the serpent.
From the face of the serpent. That's the devil. And the devil's man is at work wholesale. This abomination at this time. That's why this woman fled. God gonna let the devil have his way, but he gonna make an escape route for his people, and it's not through a rapture, brothers and sisters. It's by fleeing to the desert, like he took Israel in the old days. Simple as that. But now, go ahead, read a little further.
Verse 15.
Uh-huh.
And the serpent cast out his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Like the serpent chasing the woman. He sent the army after her like Pharaoh chased Israel. But this is not the same time as Pharaoh. This is much later at the end of the world now. Same type of stuff. See, the Lord give you shadows of stuff. Antiochus was a shadow, but he wasn't the real deal. Egypt was a shadow of this, but this is the real deal. This is the final climax. Go ahead.
And the earth helped the woman.
And the earth helped the woman. Go ahead.
And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
See, just like the Red Sea opened her mouth and swallowed up the army that Pharaoh sent after the woman, well, it's going to be like an earthquake this time. Swallow up this army. And what the devil going to be mad because this woman going to be in the wilderness protected and you ain't going to be able to touch. The Lord can put an angel in front of your house, brothers and sisters. He can put an angel, the angel don't have to be in front of your house. Matter of fact, he can be down the block. But he can protect your house where your whole house can blow up. The whole block can blow up, I'm sorry, and your house will be the only one left. God can do that.
Praise the Lord.
But that's what he's going to be doing. So the whole world going to be blowing up, bombing and smoking, and that area right there going to be surrounded and protected, going to be peaceful. That's what he's letting you know. Go ahead.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
See, he mad because the woman made it. Go ahead.
And went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ.
See, he went to make war with the remnant that's left out. Because the woman made it to the wilderness. How she make it again? Read verse 14 one more time. Let's see how she made it. Go ahead.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, and to her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent.
3.5 years, but she made it on eagle's wings, right? Let's go to Revelation 19. Revelation 19. Exodus 19, I'm sorry. Exodus 19. Because let's show you that wasn't the first time. But when you see this, you'll know it's on the same order. Exodus 19. And pick it up at verse 1. Exodus 19 and 1. This is when Israel fled from Pharaoh. Go ahead.
In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai.
See, where they at in the wilderness? See, God is a creature of habits. He do the same thing. He took his people to the wilderness back then. He going to take them to the wilderness and then he don't change. God don't have to change. He didn't mess up.
That's right.
And can't nobody stop him. Pharaoh couldn't stop him back then. You think these armies can stop him now? They ain't going to be able to stop. We telling them. We preaching this stuff in the Bible and they ain't going to be able to stop it. We telling them ahead of time. God wrote in the Bible, so I guess he wants to tell them.
That's right.
This is what God going to do. Stop him if you can.
Praise
Go
God.
ahead.
For they were departed from Refuge and were come to the desert of Sinai and had pitched in the wilderness and there Israel camped before the mount.
They camped before the mount. It's over with now, but God going to remind them of what he just did to get them there. Go ahead.
And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say unto the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel.
He said, look, I want you to tell your stiff-necked people what happened so they don't forget. What I just did for them. What did he do? Verse 4.
Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself.
Oh, that's those eagle's wings, right? Israel didn't ride no eagle out of Egypt, though, did they? Israel walked out and they ran a little bit when they got scared from Pharaoh. but they were not flying on nothing.
Right.
But it was by God's power. This is the same thing we just read in Revelation 12 with the church in the end time. He said, she's going to get 2 wings of eagle. God is going to swoop this woman up. It's not a rapture like people think, but it's going to be a swooping up by his power to get you from point A to point B, where he wants you at. He going to make it happen. Now, let's go to Micah, the 7th chapter, and he even tell you something on that order, that it's going to be just like what happened in the old days. See, Revelation 12 is something later, much later than Exodus 19. But it's on the same level. It's just even greater. Because Israel all over now. He got to bring people from all directions. Micah 7 and 14. Micah 7 and 14. You can read it when you get there.
Feed thy people with thy rod, the flock of thine heritage, which dwells solitary in the wood.
See, that's what the wood is, the wilderness. That's where Israel going to end up, in the wood. Out there in the woods, in the desert. But go ahead.
In the midst of Carmel. Let them feed in Bashan and Gilead as in the days of old.
As in the days of old. Just like he brought Israel on eagle's wings in the Exodus, from Exodus, he going to bring them on eagle's wings from all over the world, like he showed in Revelation. Go ahead.
According to the days of thy coming out of the land of Egypt, will I show unto him marvelous things.
Oh, it's going to be just like in the future, though. See, God is talking about the future here. But he's comparing it to the past, isn't he? It's even going to be much greater, though. But, so this lets you know this is going to be some miraculous stuff when people get delivered. You ain't got to make it out to be a miraculous rapture. God got enough miraculous in him to make it worthy, where it ain't got to be no rapture that you made up. It is still miraculous for him to get his people over to some desert area when the world is destroying itself. So he said in verse 15, according to the days of thy coming out of the land of Egypt, will I show unto him marvelous things. He said, just like I did when they came out of Egypt. Verse 16.
The nations shall see and be confounded at all their might.
See, the nation's going to be shocked. They're going to be confounded when God do this and he bring Israel back. Go ahead.
They shall lay their hand upon their mouth, their ears shall be deaf.
Okay, Isaiah 16. Flip over to Isaiah 16. Isaiah 16, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Because when Jesus come back, it's going to be some people already in the wilderness. Because they go in there prior, 3.5 years before Jesus come back, to escape from tribulation. 16 and 1. Isaiah 16 and verse 1. You can read it.
Send ye the lamb to the ruler of the land from Selah to the wilderness.
To the wilderness. Keep talking about the wilderness, brothers. This not in here for no reason. God cannot lie. He's not telling you all this about the people fleeing to the wilderness and going on eagle's wings to the wilderness just to be lying. Go ahead.
Unto the mount of the daughter of Zion. For it shall be that as a wandering bird cast out of the nest,
go ahead,
so the daughters of Moab shall be at the fords of Arnon.
Notice it's talking about the daughters of Moab. We read Daniel 12, where I told you when the man is wreaking all this havoc, destroying all the Middle East to take over and run it his way, it said Edom, Moab, and Ammon go and escape out of his hand. These countries go and escape out of his hand. He going to knock Egypt off. But these countries going to escape because this is the area of the wilderness. God going to protect that area. Go ahead.
Take counsel. Execute judgment.
Go ahead.
Make thy shadow as the night in the midst of the noonday. Hide the outcast.
Oh, he got some outcasts. He telling these other people to hide, right? He telling the Moabites, hide my outcasts. They going to come over there and be with you. Because God is really letting them know, look, the only reason you surviving because I'm bringing my people over here. I ain't going to let the man touch y'all. But I want you to hide my outcasts. Go ahead.
Bewray not him that wanders.
Don't turn the one that's wandering away. Because we're going to be like some wanderers making it over there. Go ahead, verse 4.
Let mine outcast dwell with thee, Moab.
See, let mine outcast dwell with you, Moab. Don't be tripping, because you wouldn't even make it if it wasn't for God's sparing